Hey, thanks for checking out the Illini Inquirer YouTube channel. If you can do us a favor, continue your support. Give us a follow here on YouTube. Hit the notifications button, hit the subscribe button. That really helps us out. We're hoping to give you more content on our video channel here, whether it's player interviews, reactions, our daily dish series where we're going to be more topical and talk about the Illini. So give us some support. We appreciate all of it. Give us a follow, hit the notifications bell as well, and subscribe to us here on Illini Inquirer YouTube. Welcome into the Daily Dish. Jeremy Werner, Joey Wagner. We're making our way through our player preview series, previewing the Illinois basketball team. And we're focused on the returners now. We've talked about Coleman Hawkins and RJ Melendez. Check those out on our previous. They'll be in our description below. But let's go to another guy that maybe some are overlooking, maybe some Luke Goode fans out there saying, you need to talk more about Luke Goode. Listen, I think we all liked what we saw out of Luke Goode in the minutes that he played last year. Joey came in and had the, approach, the reliability of a veteran, but certainly had so many veterans in front of him with DeMonte Williams and Jacob Grandison that it was hard for him to get consistent playing time. But when you put him in the game, it never felt like things were too big for him. You saw some leadership out of him. So what do you expect out of Luke Goode now that he's going from freshman to sophomore and should have more opportunities for playing time, though still with Terrence Shannon coming in and guys like RJ Melendez, Coleman Hawkins, still not guaranteed to have a huge role, like 20 plus minutes a game, but certainly going to play a bigger role.
Yeah, I don't think we look at this like the Hawkins Melendez jump, or at least I don't, but I see some, and I know you made this comp, Jeremy, some Jacob Grandison in terms of just what's asked, which is Jacob Grandison had Brad Underwood trusted him so much. And I think you can maybe see that with Luke Goode in terms of knock down some threes, be smart, facilitate. I come back to, do you remember how he played defensively against Michigan State? He had to guard some fours, and Illinois was shorthanded that game, as I recall, and he really stepped in to that, where I don't know that he's going to be that high usage, high minutes guy, but I think his ability to shoot, his ability to play defense a little bit, you can spread a 3 or a 4, he could probably guard them. I think that's something you can see, and just someone that Brad Underwood just I think there's just like maybe a feeling of a knownness about what you're gonna get out of Luke Goode, and I think there can't be enough value in that. You need that level. Are there going to be games he leads the team in scoring? Maybe. I mean, maybe he's certainly got that ability. He's talked about expanding his game. Last year he was a catch and shoot 3 guy. He did it at a decent level given how much was asked of him. But can he put it on the floor a little bit? Can he get to the rim? Can he do some of those things? That's kind of the next step, I think, with Luke Goode. He's expanding a little bit, and some of that's just what's been asked.
Yeah, and I think the comp that we made maybe as a prospect kind of played out last year. And that's a guy like Matt McQuaid at Michigan State. Luke's a bigger guy, and he's certainly getting a lot stronger to where the fact I think he can play the 4 in the Big Ten as a stretch 4 and guard some guys there, but he gives you outside shooting, right? Like he can be a ridiculous 3-point shooter and just gives you energy in a veteran presence, even as a sophomore. And I think he's going to give some leadership, but back to McQuaid, he averaged 3.5 points as a freshman. As a sophomore, he started some games, averaged 5.5 points, mostly off the bench, and eventually became a good enough starter that he averaged 10 points as a senior. Was an all defensive guy as a senior. Seems like a familiar arc. And I think one that Luke Goode can certainly follow, and just a guy that I think really helps your program. And I think McQuaid now on the Michigan State staff, which makes a ton of sense. That's what I say. Like, Goode reminds me so much of those qualities, and that when Brad Underwood puts him in the game, if Melendez has an off game, if Hawkins or Shannon has an off game, you feel really comfortable with him. And I think that's the kind of comfort Brad Underwood had with Jacob Grandison. And maybe it's 2019 or 2020, 21 Grandison. That's the kind of role that Luke Goode plays. Hit some open threes, play some good defense, and just be reliable.
Yeah, cut down on the turnovers, just understand what you have to be. Like, kind of I don't want to say a racer, but just the guy who can plug in. Like you said, if there's someone's having an off night, there's just feels like a baseline level of consistency that I think they expect out of Luke. No, he's got to do it, right? I think he's still obviously got to show he can do that. But look, every team there's no knock in being a 5th leading scorer, 6th leading. You got to have, that's just how numbers work. And I just think his embracement of just what's asked of him. I think that's going to be the big thing, because there's, as constructed, and we think as continued to be constructed, there's going to be some talent, some more usage around him. The two guys returning are going to get that, but just to know, kind of pick your spots, I guess, if that makes sense, just kind of know who you have to be on a team to win basketball games. And that's not saying the other guys don't have that, but I just think what Luke's role is going to be is less of a usage guy and more of just a kind of fill in the space there.
Yeah, and Luke's certainly talented, right? I think he's can be one of the better shooters in the Big Ten. He's got a big frame, but I think there's so many intangible things you really like about him. His effort, his knowing where to be and when to be there, which a lot of freshmen don't have. He had that last year, and he's just got a vocal leadership that I don't know if there's another guy on the team that has that. I just don't know if there is, because RJ's a little bit more soft spoken, more of like, effort guy. Coleman talks, but I think he's more the energy guy. I think Luke Goode, Sky Clark, like those are the kind of vocal players that Illinois has right now. So I think he's going to play a role there. And as you said, and you kind of hit it to her, I think every winning team has a Luke Goode, and I think he's going to help Illinois win a lot of games. And we will cover it all here at IlliniInquirer.com.